Hi everyone! I had a company reach out to me not that long ago if I would be interested in trying out some of their products. The company is called Lifescraft Art. I've never heard of them before, but I did hear of the make of the brand that they sent me products from. And they picked these products for me. I didn't pick these, so these are all cutting dies that I will be sharing today. And these are by Coco Rosa. So I've seen a lot of creators, all different crafters on YouTube use Coco Rosa products before, but I've never had the chance to experiment with them up until now. So I'm quite excited to see how these work. They look quite nice, sturdy quality, but I will have to start cutting with them to be able to give you a proper review. But going by other crafters, I'm expecting just good things. So the dies they picked for me, and I'm going to show you. They came in packaged. They came packaged in these cello bags. I just took these off just to avoid all the rustling on my video in here. So you can see they come packaged lovely in this staple for Coco Rosa, the fox background packaging. And then the first one up is the flowers and leaves metal cutting dies. I do love working with flowers. You can use these as individual petals, or you can build up the flowers from these. The largest die in this set measures about 2 inches. The smallest one is about just a little bit about a bit above half an inch, maybe 5/8 of an inch. And the leaves are 1 inch long. So it's quite a good variety of sizes to create flowers for your makes. I will be using these dies in tutorials to create some cards. Next one is the little This is background die, again packaged the same way, and there's a lovely background. It's very cute, that fox. So I have this Daisy background die measuring 3 7/8, so just under 4 inches by 5 3/8, so just under 5.5 inches. So you can see it's a lovely background die. You could either add color to your flowers or color to the background and leave the flowers just one color. So yeah, there's quite a scope for this one as well. Next die up I have here is the Thorny Rose metal cutting die. Let's see. So yeah, we have the thorny vine in here, and I can see a rose head and a rosebud which will cut out separately. I'm not going to snip into these because I do not want to lose the bits. I just probably cut it out together as it is. I'm gonna give you the measurements of this one as well, and this one's measure 5.5 by, I wanna say about 2.5. So it's quite a good size again for a card front or to decorate corners of the card. Yeah, this is quite a lovely die as well. I don't think I have anything like this one in my stash. Then we have, this one came in this bigger packaging. This one is the flower piano cutting die. You can see we have this piano die and flowers and foliage on the top. There's not much to talk about these until I really cut into these and see how I can work with these on my cards. But this one measures 5.5, about 2 3/4 of an inches for the piano, for the keyboard, and the flowers are in around 3/4 of an inch, half an inch, so in around that size. So you could lovely decorate this piano or add some floral arrangement around it, or just use them separately as well. Next up we have the hollow grid background die. Now I took this one out of here. Again, the same packaging with the fox. You can see how they come packaged as this here. We have this grid background, so you could use them as little windows. I'm gonna give you the size first of all. So it is, oops, the other way, 5 3/8 by 3 3/4, and then the windows in it are about just 1 inches, and then we have slightly smaller matting little squares to go in it, just under 1 inches. So these ones have this stitched detail onto them, and each window has one of these. You can just pop those out. I'm gonna have to find a magnetic sheet to put these on so I don't lose them. So what's good about this, that each window has that stitched square, so you don't have to cut them out separately. I don't know how many times. You can just do that in a one go. Now we are left with these little spiky bits on the die. I do have some little snips that I can try to remove these with. I just don't know where they are because I haven't used them in such a long time. I'm gonna have to go for a search for those, so these don't leave too big dents in my cardstock. But yeah, we have got this to work with. You could add lovely little images in all the windows, a sentiment in the middle. Yeah, I'm quite excited to experiment with this one too. So let's see how that works. So the last one, this one is a lovely die. This one is the Celebrate the Day Under the Tree. And it is this one in here. The size of this die would be 4 by 3.5. So it's again quite a lovely size of a die. And we have this tree and then the lady and a gentleman sitting underneath it. I think she's reading a book, maybe. I'm not sure, he's just looking downwards. Maybe I'll have to cut into it and see. I think this one will be the first die that I will be using today to see what way I can work this on a card. Quite lovely. It's a very cute die, lovely silhouette die. So these are all the dies that I showed you today, and the piano one, I'm just gonna leave it in here. So these are the dies that I was sent, and I will be using these in upcoming videos. I will share one tutorial with you today and the rest of them in upcoming videos. So if you like any of these or you would like to check the website out, I will leave a link to them in the description box below. I also have a promo code, Katarina44, which one if you decide to use, you will get a 25% discount from them. They also sent me links to apps for your smartphone, so you can download those. Everything will be detailed in the description box below. You can find those, but do not forget to use my coupon code, because as well as that, I will be getting a little bit of a kickback if you purchase using my coupon code. It would just help me out with this channel a little bit. So these are the dies that I have. I'm gonna go off and prepare some things, and then I will come back and show you what we are going to work with today. So I picked out this die to work with today, and I'm going to make 2 cards. At this point I wasn't sure. I did have a fair idea, but wasn't entirely sure where I was gonna go with the card. So I've cut it out twice from white card and twice from black as well. I'm going to glue these 2 together. So I'm just adding some liquid glue, and then I'm going to place the other white die cut on top of this, and off camera I'm going to repeat exactly the same steps for the black ones. I'm going to use the white die cuts on one of my cards today and the black ones on the other one. I'm going to use my arch dies from Tattered Lace, and I have 2 of the same size in here, one for each card, and I'm going to do some ink blending on this. For the first one I have Squeezed Lemonade, Wild Honey, Picked Raspberry and Seedless Preserves, and for the second one I will have Shaded Lilac, Villainous Potion and Chipped Sapphire. So I'm starting off with the yellows and the pinks first in here. And you can see I changed my mind in a minute. I will turn this cardstock around because I started with the lightest shade on top, but then I realized that I probably wanted that on the bottom for this card. So I turned it just around, nothing's wasted, and I'm going to start with the Squeezed Lemonade on the bottom, then Wild Honey above that, then the pink, and then the purplish tone on top. And I am just going back with each color just to blend between where the 2 colors meet, and it creates a lovely blend. All these colors that I use together here blend really nicely to create some lovely backgrounds for me. And there's the Seedless Preserves, which probably is one of my favorite colors of Distress Oxidants. It's funny because I don't use it enough. I used to use it all the time and kind of stopped. And now I just remember, I think I want to work with that one. And I'm so happy that I picked Seedless Preserves for my top, the darkest color for this card, because it is beautiful. And then for my second card, I'm going to start with the Chipped Sapphire on the bottom of the card, continuing with Villainous Potion in the mid area, and then I'm going to add my Shaded Lilac onto the very top. I think it was around at this point where I realized, one of them looks like a sunset, with the other one looks quite dark, like a nighttime area. So we're probably gonna go that direction with these cards. And from here, it's just really poured in because it's just turned out so lovely, and I could not stop adding more and more to these cards. You'll see how lovely they turn out in a minute. I think they turned out quite enchanting, like a magical scene for each of these cards. So in here, I'm just coming back and forth with the blend between the two colors, just blending out those harsh lines, giving quite a soft transition from one color to the next. So these are the two finished ink blended backgrounds, which will have to be set aside to dry for a minute. But in here, I'm just trying to decide which die cut I want to use against which background. And at first, I really like the white against the blues and the black against the yellows and pinks in there. But then I'm going to change my mind about this just in a second. I've die cut these from mirror cardstock, one from gold and one from holographic silver. I'm going to glue the gold one behind the white, but offsetting a bit, so it kind of adds that drop shadow effect, which I will show you later from more close-ups and you'll see what I mean. And I'm going to glue the holographic behind the black one. So I think in the full picture of these cards started to come together in my head. In here, I'm going to go for like a sunset scene for the yellow and the pinkish ones, and the moonlight one for this other one. I decided to use two different card bases. So for this first one, I'm going to use just a regular 5x7-inch card base, and I'm going to glue the art shape on top of that. For the other one, I'm going to have an art-shaped card base. I've cut out two pieces of this. These are larger than the arch that I've already ink blended on. So these are about 6.5 inch tall. So at about 5.5 inches, I scored down along the top. And I'm going to use that bit as a hinge to attach my card front to. This is such an easy way to create any shaped cards at all, or card bases, without having to die cut with the die overhanging over the cardstock, which is not my favorite technique. I much prefer to do my card bases this way. And I'm just making sure that that glue properly sets in there. And this will be my card base. You'll see how that ink blended background fits in there. And I've cut out a frame like this for each of these cards. So the smaller one for the frame is slightly smaller than the ink blended background, and the larger one for the frame is slightly larger than the ink blended background, but not as large as the card base that I've cut out. I am covering both of these, the back of both of these frames, in foam tape. And then in here, I am gluing the white die cut on top of the gold one. I'm just using some very strong acrylic glue, which is the glue by Cosmic Shimmer. I love using that when I'm gluing on top of mirror card. And in here, you can see that drop shadow effect from the gold behind the white, and again the holographic against that black, or behind the black. I really love this look. And now I'm going to test if my backgrounds are dry, and to do that I'm just sprinkling some embossing powder on it, and they are pretty dry. There was barely anything left in it, which using the anti-static bag will get rid of, because I'm going to stamp on top of these. So this is the star background from Chloe's Creative Cards, and this is from the Winter Wonderland collection, which has that lovely starry scenes in there, and there's a few different stamps. I'm going to pick one of these out, and I'm just going to start to cover the top part of this, and just using my anti-static bag, some Wow embossing ink pad, and I'm going to stamp this several times along the top first of all. And although this stamp set is from a Christmas collection, you can see how this is so lovely and versatile, because you can create lovely night scenes with this for any occasion at all, and it will turn out quite magical. And there I masked off some parts of the cardstock that I didn't want to stamp on, but you'll find that I didn't need to do that because the tree would be covering that part up anyway. Now in here I'm just heat setting when I'm using embossing glitter, which one, this one is the silver dollar embossing glitter by Stamps by Chloe. I like to heat my cardstock from behind first, that way all that lovely glitter does not blow away from the embossing powder. And here I put my tree back, and then I realized that I want to add some more of those stars, just cascading down on either side of my card. And then here you'll see that I did use the embossing body, but only on one side. On the other one, I have to do a little bit of a cleanup. It's not too bad because the cardstock was pretty dry. I just had to clean up a little bit with my dry brush where the powder was sticking where it shouldn't have been. So again, I'm starting to heat from the back, and then I come and add some heat from the front too. I'm using my cola glue just to attach this panel to my card front. The cola glue, once dries, will leave this really nice and strong, very good quality feel card. And here I decided that the black was too black, it missed something. So I decided to come back with my brayer and the embossing ink pad and sprinkle some clear sparkle embossing powder on it. The reason I used my brayer and not just dabbed it into my ink pad, because I didn't want to cover the holographic card behind it in ink as well. This way I could ensure that it only touches the raised areas, which in this case is the black cardstock. When heat setting, I couldn't go from behind, although there's glitter bits in this one as well, because already there were so many layers in there. So I made sure that my heat gun was properly heated. I let it heat up for about 30 seconds before I brought it to my card, and then it melted that powder just almost right away. So this is what it looks like, but just wait till you see this all ready on the card. It will be just absolutely stunning. I really love this look that it's getting, and it's got that gritty texture as well, so it gives a lot of interest to my die cut. And here I decided that the card was still missing something. So ideally I would do this step before gluing the panel onto my card base, but because I'm doing white acrylic splatters and very little of that white border will show once I attach my frame to it, it was not bothering me at all, and I managed to keep it nice and clean anyway, so I was happy enough. For the second card, I'm going to use the Falling Sparkles Stamped by Chloe's Creative Cards. I did not want to use stars on this one, but this I thought was the perfect match for this card, and oh my goodness, it turns out to be absolutely perfect. So I'm using my stamping platform because I want to double stamp these using my embossing body, because I'm gonna be doing heat embossing again. So I just used the Wow embossing ink pad twice, double stamped it, and then the embossing powder I'm going to use this time is the polished gold superfine embossing powder. Now, once heat set, to me this one is missing a bit of sparkles, so I'm going to come back and I'm going to add glue to all the little dots. You'll see this in more detail in a little second just. And then I will end up sprinkling some glitter on this. So you can see how I'm filling out those little dots. Now this takes me a little while because I'm going right through the whole background, but it's not too fluffy at all. And to be honest, it does not matter if you're not exact with this step, because wherever the sparkles go, the sparkles go. And honestly, this is turning out so enchanting. I love, 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 love this stamp too. So there we go. I am filling out all that background, and I'm using my Crystallina, and this is the fine Crystallina. Now, it will look white for now, but once that glue dries, because this is a dry clear glue, none of that opaque whiteness will be there. It will be just lovely sparkly on top of those falling sparkles. Setting aside it to dry, I'm coming back to work on the other background now. So I'm going back and forth between the two because I obviously need to leave some drying time for each of these. But in here, I am peeling back the backing of the foam tape and attaching the frame to my card before adding my silhouette die cut. And for this one, I'm just using my liquid glue, and I'm just make sure that you apply some pressure when you add this to your background. So I just done that with my hands. I held it there for a minute, which I cut out of this video. Obviously, you don't want me to standing there, but you can see all that gorgeousness. I will show you some close-ups at the very end of this video, which will show you in much more detail how lovely these really look. So for my second card in here, that white looked too stark white now, so I decided that I'm going to add some embossing to that one as well. And this is the Ray of Sunshine embossing glitter from Wow. And this one is again clear, but this time instead of the silvery and bluish sparkles, it has some lovely golden glow sparkles in it. Will turn out beautiful. This is the first time I'm using this embossing powder other than creating that little sample for the top of my bottle. But just look once hits it, how gorgeous this is, and it will bring my card together just so beautifully. So most of the glue is pretty dry to the touch now. It's still not dry, so it's still opaque. It's still not dry to be clear enough, but it will, I promise you, it will dry completely clear and it will not look white at all. So I decided I wanted a bit of a background on my card, but the orange looked just a bit odd. I wasn't too happy with it. So I've cut out a piece of rectangle from gold card and I cut that arch out of it just to save for a future make, because you will not see that bit anyway. But I do want to add just a piece of scrap card just to make up for that level difference in there. Then I'm gluing my ink blended and stamped on background on it before adding my frame, again peeling back just the backing of the foam pads, foam tapes in there. And I have to say I really like that gold background in there. I wasn't too keen on the orange one or the colored ones in there that I've tried off camera too. The gold one makes everything so cohesive on this card. So yeah, I am quite happy that I've decided to go with the gold mirror background in there. Now I'm just doing the same thing as earlier on with the other card, just use my liquid glue and applying some pressure just from the palm of my hands, just to make sure that everything sticks down nicely. And now it's time to add some sentiments. I have the Special Wishes and the Lovely Wishes stamp and die sets from Hunky Dory Moonstone range, and these come with stamps and matching dies. So I'm going to stamp these using my distress subsidings, and that's why I'm using the stamping platform. It's Seedless Preserves for one of those and the Chip Sapphire for the other stamp or the sentiment. And I'm double or even triple stamping these just to make sure that I get a really nice crisp writing in there. From distress subsidings you need to stamp multiple times to make them nice and lovely crisp looking. So I'm going to use my clear embossing powder, and this is not going to add any sparkles to this, just a little bit of a shine, which I think it needed for these cards. I wasn't going to do this first, but when I stamped them I thought no, for these cards I think it needs, because there's already texture on everything else. It would have been just looked odd if these were just completely plain. And my camera cut off in here, but all I done, I die cut them. I used my liquid glue just to glue them into place. Thankfully, my camera did not cut off before here, so I didn't miss too much. And to finish off my cards, I just decided to add some rhinestones. So in this one, I have like a purpley but like color changing kind of rhinestones. They are from Bling Boxes from Chloe's Creative Cards. And for the other one, I just decided to use some gold ones from the Festive Fancies bling box. And I think this finishes my cards off beautifully. And here are some close-up footage as promised. This is the next day when everything is nice and fully dry. Just look at that lovely golden glow of my die cut piece. Oh my goodness, just how gorgeous is that? I thought color-wise the other card would be my favorite, but I equally love this one as well. Honestly, it just looks so stunning on camera too, but in real life even more. So I'm going to show you the other one now. Just look at that lovely moonlight glow on this one. I really love how lovely, magical, and enchanting this turned out. So the couple sitting underneath that tree, just minding their own business. I think these are absolutely beautiful. I can't decide between the color combinations. I love both of these, but I think as far as for the shape of the card, I do prefer the art-shaped one. What do you think? Do let me know in the comment section below. You will find all the information and all my products I used linked in the description box below. And if you do decide to shop with Life's Craft Art, I would really appreciate if you use my affiliate link or my promo code Katarina44 to get your 25% discount. I really hope you enjoyed today's tutorial, and if you did, do let me know in the comment section below. Make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you'll get notified when I upload some new videos. I'll see you back soon. Bye!